Okay, it's now time to smoke our meats. What we have here is a Primo ceramic grill, very similar to a green egg, not a whole lot different. So we're going to get this thing fired up. What we want to do first is we want to open this bottom up, open up the lid. Here we have some used charcoal and some new charcoal. I like to use briquettes mixed with natural lump charcoal. You can see I have some fire starters there, and I have this little bomb right there. These are all natural. I don't use any chemicals to start my charcoal. So the little bomb right there is this Boom Fire Starters by Jealous Devil. These work really well. So, all right, what we want to do is we want to get this started. So we'll get everything lit here. A little bit of trouble with the lighter here. Oh, well, we'll figure something else out. Be right back. And there you have it. Grill is lit. We're going to close the lid, and we are going to open the top up here. And this is just to get it started, just to get it fired up. What we're going to do is once we get everything burning and we get some good temperature going here, probably up around the 350, we're going to close this and we're going to cut back on the opening down here. We're going to close that a little bit, and we're going to get us to our temperature, probably about 225, 250, give or take. So we'll be back. All right, it's been a little bit over 10 minutes here. We're getting a lot of smoke out of this. So the fire has gone out, but the coals have been started. Our temperature isn't quite where we want it. So we'll give it another 10 minutes or so and come back and check on it. All right. It's actually been a little over 30 minutes total. Now, I didn't mention that it is about 30 degrees outside here. So we're at about 300. That'll work. We're going to check on our fire. Our coals are started. Definitely started. So we're going to start prepping this and getting it ready for our cook. So we're going to put in our heat deflector. We're going to turn this down a little bit. We're going to leave it open though, and we're going to close this just a little. So our heat deflector is in. We're going to do this as an indirect cook, so that'll kind of shield our meat from the heat of the flame, and that flame's not going to be so big once we start. But we are going to prep this, so we're going to put in our water pan. Okay, our water pan slash drip pan is set up. I put warm water in there. The longer I keep this lid open, the bigger that fire gets, so let's close that. All right, we've also added our grill grate. So temperatures are coming up, so what's going to happen is the indirect shield and the water pan and the grill grate are going to come up to temp here, and then we'll start our cook. So let me close the lid, and you can see we were at 300. Now we're down to a little over 200. That's just from having the lid open. And like I said, it's pretty cold out here. It's about 30 degrees. So we've cut this back a little bit. That should be pretty good right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to give this another 10-15 minutes or so. Try and get it down to our temp. We're at about 250, but it's still climbing. So we're going to get it right around 225, 250, and we're going to let everything warm up before we put our meat on. So down here we're pretty good. And we'll be back. Okay, so our temperature is starting to stabilize right around 250. Let's prep this up again before we put our meat on. Let's open the lid. You can see the fire has died down quite a bit. It'll keep burning though. So a couple things I do to set this up. I like to put in some Kingsford garlic, onion, paprika briquettes. I'll probably just for now throw one in. And I also have some mesquite wood chunks that I'm going to put in there too. And that'll give us our smoke and our flavor. So, and after that we're ready to cook. So we'll be right back and put our meat on. Okay, I've got my briquette in there. Smells really good. I've got my wood chunks in there too. Now you can take those wood chunks and you can soak them in water, and they will smoke a little bit longer. I've tried it both ways. It seems to work either way. It's not really big problem, but some people tell you not to soak them in water because now you're all getting steam from the water that's in the wood. Other people say throw the wood directly on. I've tried it both ways. I've had good luck both ways. The only reason these aren't soaked in water is because I forgot to do it the night before. So, all right, having the lid open for quite a while, you can see our temperature has dropped quite a bit, but it will come back up. I have put the meat on. We've got good smoke going. We have our brisket tip. We have our roast. The roast I put on fat cap down. The brisket I put on fat cap up. Honestly, I don't think it really matters. Depends on whose video you watch. Some will say put the fat cap up. Some will say put it down. I've done it both ways, and in my experience, it's not that big of a deal. So we've got our wood burning on top of our charcoal. And what we're going to do here is we're going to close this lid, and our temperatures are going to come back up. We're set pretty good as far as the top goes. Now I usually use the top to control my temperature. I think we're pretty good down here. If I have to, I can open that up just a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to need to. So we're going to let this go. Being that it's very cold outside, we are not going to open the lid probably for about 2 hours. We're going to let this go. We're going to watch the temperature, make sure it doesn't get too high. Like I said, I don't really want it going over 225 or 250. And we'll check on our meat and we'll be back. Okay, so it's only been about 15 minutes. You can see we're right around 250, which is good. I did close this a little bit. We're getting some good smoke out of there. So I'm not going to open the lid because it's only been about 15 minutes since we put the meat on. There's no need to. If I open the lid, we're going to lose temperature. Temperatures do come back a lot faster once the ceramic and everything starts to warm up, which we're already there. So we're good to go. We just need to keep an eye on this temp, make sure it doesn't go too high. And if we need to, we'll adjust that back a little bit to cut the flow. So any fire has to have, or a fireplace rather, has a draft. So we're getting air coming in through the bottom. Air comes in through the bottom of this grill, and then we control how much flow we have up here. So we can control our temperature by the top. I think we're pretty good as far as our opening on the bottom goes. We're just going to let this go, and we'll check on it in about 2 hours. We'll open up and take a look at our meat, but throughout that time, we'll definitely just keep an eye on the temp, make sure we're good.